Hi, I'm Alicia, and this is the workshop on being a good student.
Being a good student. So the first thing is, talk about why are you here? Did you have extra money lying around? You thought, you'd spend it, come take a few classes? Your parents making you come. These are not the best reasons to be here. Some other ones that might be a little better, maybe like a career change. Maybe you got laid off, you need to take some classes, get a new career field going. College transfer. A lot of people start here with the intention of going on to university, achieving that ultimate goal of getting that 4-year degree or beyond. Or just general knowledge. We have some people that are just lifelong learners and enjoy college. These are all good reasons for coming to college. You have to have the right reason to be here or you're not going to stay motivated. So the reason that you're here is very important and something you want to think about. All right, so to be a good student, what do you need to do? Okay, first, attend class and be prepared. Well, this is sort of obvious. If you want to do good in school, you need to be present, you need to be here to learn. Part of that, being on time. Students who come in late not only disturb the teacher, they also disturb the other students, and you're probably going to miss out on some valuable information. A lot of instructors talk at the beginning of class about upcoming due dates. They may talk about changing a test date. They may even go over problems from the homework or assignments that you need to know. So it's really important that you're on time so you don't miss any of this valuable information. Additionally, if you're on time, then you're able to get the best seat that you can, which is something we'll talk about in another second. Sit in the front row. So like I said, the best seat. If you're able to get there on time, you can sit in the front row. There's a couple advantages to this. If you're sitting in the front row, you're able to see and hear the teacher better. You're less likely to be distracted by those people around you. You got 3 rows of people sitting in front of you. It's a lot easier to start looking at what they're doing as opposed to the teacher. So that's a good tip. And having supplies. Again, this is kind of an obvious one, but it's really important. You need to come to class prepared. You need your pencil. You need your paper. If you're in the math classes, you need that guided notebook so that you're able to take notes as your teacher's talking. And you want to bring your textbook. You may not use it every class time, but that one time you don't bring it, it's going to be the one time that you need it. So you want to have all your supplies. And another part of this would be turning off your cell phone. So again, this is another thing. When your cell phone's on, it's distracting to the teacher. It's distracting to the other students. And also, there's a lot of teachers that if that cell phone goes off, they may just have you leave class. It's just a rude thing to have happen. And there are some people, you may have a child, you may have an emergency that you're going to need that phone call. But for something like that, you want to go ahead and tell the teacher maybe ahead of time. Speak to them before or after class and let them know. But you don't want to be texting during class. If you're texting, you're not paying attention. And maybe you can do 2 things at once, but that could also be disturbing to your neighbor. So those are a couple things that you can do to be a good student. Another major thing that you want to do is read your syllabus. Your syllabus is kind of like your pathway. It's kind of like a roadmap for what's going to be going on for the rest of the semester. It's got all the important information. It's going to give you your instructor's name. It's got the due dates for all your assignments. It's going to give you an idea of what it is you're covering in class. It's going to give you an idea about the rules and the expectations that have been laid for you by your instructor. So you want to be very familiar with this. There are teachers that have attendance policies. These are things you need to know. We talked about being on time. Some teachers, if you're late 3 times, they're going to knock your grade a letter. These are the things that are laid out in the syllabus. As soon as you receive that syllabus, you are then responsible for all of these terms within the syllabus. So you want to make sure that you read it and you understand it. If you have any questions, you need to talk to your instructor about it. Additionally, you want to keep it throughout the semester so that you can review it. Double check, important dates, deadlines. It's going to tell you where your final is, what time your final is, and the date, because sometimes the final are not at the same time or in the same room as your traditional class. So your syllabus is really, really important. You want to make sure you keep it and you keep track of it, and you are familiar with everything that is inside of the syllabus. Okay. Make connections. So it's really, really important that you have someone in your classroom that you could talk to if you have to miss class or if you have a question. So it's a really good strategy to go ahead and get at least 2 people's email, phone numbers. That way, if you do have to miss for some reason, you can find out what you missed. If you have a question about, hey, is the test tomorrow, you can have someone you can ask. Your notes are very, very important. That's going to help you remember what it is your instructor said during class. And oftentimes, what your instructor talks about in class is what they consider to be the most important. So it's a very, very valuable study tool. So before class, it's a good idea to kind of go over whatever material you're going to be covering in class, review notes from the last class to make sure you understood it all. That way, if you have a question, you could ask at the beginning. Another strategy with this is when you're reviewing the material and maybe your textbook, go ahead and make some notes, make questions that you can ask while they're covering that material. And additionally, this goes back to what we talked about being prepared. You want to make sure you have plenty of paper and pencil so that you don't run out while you're trying to take notes. During class, you want to listen and write down the main ideas instead of trying to write down every single word that your instructor is saying. If you're writing down every word, you're probably going to miss about half of them. You want to watch for cues from your professor that will help you select and organize the main ideas. Anything they're writing on the board is obviously important, but a lot of times they'll kind of say things that maybe they don't write down but are still important. You want to try and make sure you get all those main ideas, the things they emphasize. If they repeat something, then that generally means that it's important. Using abbreviations can help you and helps you take notes faster, and it allows you to not miss things that follow. And then you want to leave space. So you don't want to have your notes on one sheet of paper really tight, cramped in there. You want to leave space because after class, you want to go back and fill in anything that maybe isn't clear, maybe you skipped some words. So it's a good idea pretty soon after class, maybe that night or the next day, go back over your notes, make sure that it makes sense. You can go back through, add whatever it is you may have missed. Additionally, you want to read over your notes pretty regularly. It'll help you retain the information more, and then it also it gives you a chance to make sure you understood it all and you can go ask questions. You don't want to wait till the night before the test and realize that half your notes don't make sense. Study. Okay, this one also is very obvious, but it cannot be emphasized enough. It's good that you go to class, that you do your homework, but studying is going to be what is going to help you learn probably the most. A lot of people have a lot of things going on in your life. You got family, you may play sports, you probably have a job out there. But studying is crucial to doing well in college. So you want to kind of make a plan, organize your time effectively. We actually have workshops on that as well. So if you feel like you need that, come back for that one. But a good strategy is to set up a calendar. Go ahead and schedule in those important things you can't miss, like work, schedule in your classes. Then you want to set up times to study. You're going to have to prioritize, obviously. You've got your family, that's important. You've got your classes, but you need that study time as well. A good rule of thumb for study is for each hour of class, you want to spend 2 hours studying. Now, some classes may take more time than this and some may take less. And that's something that you can adjust. But at the beginning of the semester, it's good to go ahead and set up a plan where you're allowing yourself that 2 hours. And you can adjust it as you see fit throughout. But you do want to actually set aside specific study time, so that way you make sure you are studying. Okay, balance your life. Like I just said, everybody has a lot going on. Family, school, work. For some people, they think, oh, I'm just going to focus solely on school. While that's a good intention, that can really burn you out. So you want to make sure that you're actually giving yourself some time to do things you enjoy, spend time with your friends, spend time with your family. And that goes back to managing your time. On the other side, you don't want to spend so much time having fun that you are not leaving time for your schoolwork, coming to class, and studying. So a good way to do this is just start off, like I said a minute ago, make a list of all the things that you do. If you're a student, if you're a friend, you're a parent, all the things that are important to you. And then you need to kind of figure out how much time you have to spend on each one. You want to kind of try to strike a healthy balance to allow time for study, for rest, and for play. So make sure you're leaving breaks in there to eat. Make sure you have time to go spend doing something you enjoy, but make sure that study time is in there as well. Okay, and last, asking for help. This is another thing that students sometimes struggle with. Sometimes they're too embarrassed. Sometimes, they have a little bit of pride. But it's really important that if you feel like you're falling behind or if you have a question, that you ask someone. Your instructor is there to assist you at any time, but we also have tutors, we have labs. There's a lot of resources available to you as a student. It's really important that you get help when you need it. All right, so these are a few strategies to help you be a good student. There's other things you can do as well. Again, asking for help. If you have any questions with any of this material covered, please don't hesitate to contact somebody. And then some of these topics that we've talked about are covered in more detail in some of our other workshops, so be sure to check those out.